Hey everybody, this is Jacques with MotorFiles. Today we're going to be doing kind of a fun project, doing a little bike rehab on something that's been sitting a little too long. The owner of said bike gave me these, so let's go take a look at it and see what it needs. Let's get it back on the road. The owner sent me to this location, and they said it's under a gray tarp. So let's pull the tarp off and see what we got. Gross. It's a Beamer. All jokes aside, this is my girlfriend's 2011 BMW G650GS. It's been sitting under a tarp for a little while. She hasn't ridden it in a few months since our last road trip over the winter, and it just needs a little bit of love. It's been sitting on the battery tender, but I checked it the other day and I have a feeling that there's something going on with the battery tender because it's blinking red and it's not connecting. So we're going to look into that. We're going to see if she starts. If not, we're going to pull the battery and charge it, give it a good wipe down, and then I'll kind of go over next steps for this bike and what we plan on doing with it. So stay tuned. This is going to be a fun one. So first up, let's see if my theory was correct and see if we have a battery tender issue. See if this thing starts after sitting. Lights are on. That's a good sign. Oh, no crank. Oh, it's in gear. Let's put it in neutral. See if that helps. Come on. All right, now we're in neutral. I don't remember how this exactly works. It looks like kill switch is there. Oh, it wants to crank. Let's try it one more time. I cycled the key, and if it doesn't want to start, we will go pull the battery and charge it. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's what I feared. We got a dead battery or very low charge on the battery. So I'm gonna go pull it around to my little work area here in the house, and let's go pull the battery out and talk about the bike a bit more. All right, see you there. So I have a 99 F650 that I like to ride a lot. It's the first generation, last year of the classic Funduro. It's a carbureted motor, similar design, couple changes. Definitely aesthetically, it's a lot different. This one is the third generation 2011 production, and it's a lowered model. So it is, I believe it has lower suspension and then lower or longer rear shock links to lower the rear. It's a great bike, especially for beginners, because they are very versatile. You can ride them on and off road. They're really forgiving. That single cylinder is just awesome. And yeah, you can load them up. You can go on a long trip. You can ride around town. They're about 440 pounds, give or take. So it's just a really great, easy ride. This generation in particular, they move the fuel tank to under the seat. So that way the center of gravity is a bit lower. On my 99 Classic picture, the fuel tank is in a standard position and it's gravity fed. This one being a fuel injected model, they had some updates to the fuel injection. So better gas mileage, definitely better performance. And then they could get away with the tank under the seat to lower the center of gravity because they have an electronic fuel pump. That was one of the first things we did on this bike, and I'll talk about that here in a minute. That being said, let's pull the seat off so we can get to the tank panel. Kind of cool on this generation, you take the key, you turn it. We don't need that as registration documents. And then there is, set this aside, there's a red handle right here. So you pull on that handle, and we lift up. And there is the underpinnings of it. You've got your fuel tank here. I believe it's kind of goes down under here. That's your fuel fill. That, I think that's a vent or overflow. Here's your pump, your fuel pump right here. and then the ECU, and then the ABS pump down there. Everything's pretty easy to get to. If you have one of these bikes and the battery is really low like this one, you can get away with jump starting it. You connect your positive terminal here, connect your negative to a good ground, and you can actually fire the bike off. There's a little sticker right down there that indicates that this is a positive terminal. We're gonna pull the battery out and put it on my good battery charger, and then that way I can also show you after I pull this center panel off how this bike's put together. So I'm gonna put the phone on the tripod, and then let's pull this center panel out. Cool, so we got this center panel off. Took some liberties here. I went and connected my multimeter, put it on volts to the positive and negative side of the battery here. It's kind of all over the place. Not really sure what's going on there. I'm gonna look into that. I really haven't seen that before. It seems like we have some kind of parasitic draw. I did notice this is my battery tender fuse, 7.5 amp fuse for the battery tender. Might be hard to tell, but she's split. So it's got a blown out fuse that, yeah, you can kind of see it right there. That's going to be leading to the issue of not getting juice from the battery tender to charge the battery. So what I'm going to do is, since I'm here, I'm going to pull the battery out completely, put it on my big charger, see if that helps kind of stabilize it a little bit. Put a new 7.5 amp fuse. I got my Harbor Freight fuses right there, not sponsored. Put a new fuse in here so that way our battery tender is going to work. And then, yeah, we're going to charge this up, throw it back in, and see if we can get this thing to start. All right, I'll check in with you shortly. One thing I did notice, so I got the battery out, your drain tube's right there. Kind of a pain to get the leads off, but take your time, you can do it. One thing I did notice when I pulled the oil cap off, I'm gonna do it, is we've got very low oil. I don't know, be able to see. We've got very low oil on the dipstick. So all right, so we threw the battery on the charger. Now I'm going to look at pulling this panel off, and we're going to see what's going on with the oil tank, because it looks like, just from poking around on the bike, we've got a bit of a leak, and you do not want to run out of oil, especially on a single cylinder or really any gas powered motor. That's going to cause a lot of problems. That'll lock it up. So yeah, I'm going to pull this panel off, and then let's take a look at that oil tank and see what's up. So we got this left side panel off. Pretty cool bike, honestly. I mean, the air box comes up here. Looks like we've got some fins on the oil tank to keep the oil cool. Seems like, seeing the air box, the inlet's right here and it circles all around. Filter must live under here. Interesting bike. Beamer makes some wild shit. So it looks like right here on the drain screw, we've got a crushed O-ring. Might be hard to see, but that's deformed. And then it's causing oil to leak out and then run down here. It also seems like this hose maybe isn't on all the way. Not something I can fix right now. I'm gonna have to get a quart or two of oil. The filter should be fine, so I'm just gonna have to drain it and refill it. And yeah, we'll have to clean that up because we can't have oil running all the way down the side of the bike. That's no bueno. Eventually it'll get to the tire and whatnot. So cool. I'm gonna stop it right there. We're gonna let the battery charge overnight, and then tomorrow we'll get at it. We'll get this oil tank situation fixed, and hopefully it won't leak anymore. All right, see you tomorrow.
The next day.
Well, it's the next day, and we got some rain last night, so kind of dragged my feet this morning on getting to it, but battery's all charged, so we're going to throw that in. And then I have a game plan for the oil tank issue, so let me get this cover pulled off and get the bike set up, and then I'll show you what I'm doing on the oil tank. So I got the cover pulled up just a little bit out of the way. Didn't want the electronics to get wet here. But like I said yesterday, we were having a leak coming from down here, it seems like, and then this hose wasn't really connected all the way. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull this bolt out because we're going to put a new crush washer there and put a little thread sealant on that because it leaks. Wipe the tank off real good, and then hopefully that will minimize our leak, and then I'll top it off with some oil, throw the battery in, and then we'll crank it over and see if it starts. Hopefully it fires up, and then we'll go from there. So I got the oil tank filled up, leak taken care of, hopefully. We have the battery plugged in, charged up, so hopefully we will be able to get this to start. I'll turn the key on and see if it fires over here in a second. It's raining pretty bad, kind of picked up, so once I get that to fire off, and then we'll put it all back together, and I'll talk about what's on the bike and then some next steps for modifications in future videos. All right, here we go. Turn the key on. ABS. It's a good sign. It's in neutral. Oh, it wants to go. She lives. And it stinks. All right, looks like that was successful. Runs good, idles all right. Smokes a little bit, but there's probably just a bit of water in the cat. I'm just gonna throw the body panels back on, and then hopefully the rain will lighten up a little bit, and I'll talk about what mods this bike has, and then what I plan on doing in the future. We got it all buttoned up. It's running great. Couldn't really take it around the block because of the rain, but we will overcome. We'll definitely take it out another day. I'll do some more videos with it. I'll do a quick walk around of the bike and just talk about what I have on it and what I plan on doing with it next. So like I said, 2011 G650GS. It's pretty much stock. We do have some rocks risers right here. My girlfriend likes, who you'll meet later in the videos, but she likes her bars a bit higher, especially for the way this one's set up, being the lower position, gives a wider stance and feel. And then the bike came with this lower guard from the factory, as well as a skid plate, and then it has TourTech upper protection bars to protect the side panels, and then everything else is pretty much factory. So next steps for this bike is we're going to put some rear racks on it, do some soft luggage. I really like the Giant Loop or Moscow stuff, probably leaning towards Giant Loop so you can strap it on and off. We're going to do some new tires. These are definitely more street oriented, so maybe something with a bit more tread you can take off-road a bit more. Some new foot pegs. And then we're going to do some bark busters. Just to protect these levers. I have some Ep.3s on my other bike, or some bark busters, just some hand guards. I'm thinking I'm probably going to go with the Ep.3s to match my other bike. This windscreen's great, but it probably could use a better windscreen. And then she wants to keep the lighting. I'm thinking it might be nice to upgrade with some smaller LED turn signals. I'm a big fan of those. And then maybe upgrade the headlight as well. Possibly do some auxiliary lights off these upper bars, and then maybe look into upgrading the suspension. So that's kind of what the game plan is on this bike right now. We'll see what we come up with in the future for future videos. Thank you so much for watching. It's probably kind of a boring, rainy one, but you know, just like to get these videos out there and show people what I'm up to. Go find an old car, an old bike, build it, don't buy it. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one.